Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to go over how to overcome objections as an insurance agent.
Oh man,
Ooh, so we're going to skip over our names. Just kidding. My name is Michael.
my name's Jalen.
So let's hop right into it, guys.
It's a good one.
This is the year of 2025. If you have not liked or subscribed to our YouTube page, please do so. Today, we're going to go over how to overcome objections as a life insurance agent.
Yeah, now, agencies, hey, you might want to share this out with your team too, right? Because it's gonna make them more money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we want to make sure we do the training for you, so you can be able to send it out to your agents, so they can go out there and make some more money, y'all.
Yes.
We're all here to help each other out, all right?
Yeah. Over the years, we've written thousands of life insurance applications together as a team. So we understand objections. And to me, objections are like smoke screens, as you can just see through it. They really don't mean anything to me unless I actually believe the objection from the client. So an objection is pretty much someone saying a statement or a question that is from a potential customer that is indicating they're not interested or willing to move forward with the application or the policy.
That's a good point. Yeah, and I also like to look at it too. Like, objections can be very, very distinct as well, right? Like, sometimes you'll have some clients who respond a certain way to try to test you as an agent to see how you're going to respond. Right? Like, you'll have some of these clients who used to be in sales, and sometimes they like to challenge you a little bit. So I kind of look at objections like a game. You know, like these clients, they're just looking to see how you're going to respond at times. And it makes it easier, and it lightens the load on you as well as an agent. If you can look at it as in a game on how to overcome it, it makes overcoming objections a lot easier.
Yeah. And the formula we use to overcome objections is called AAA. No, this is not a alcohol class we're talking about. It's AAA, and that stands for agree, acknowledge, assume. Agree, acknowledge, assume. So here today, I'm going to show you guys, literally today, we're going to show you how to overcome every objection you would face in a life insurance presentation today. We're going to be using the AA formula because we want to show you guys how to overcome every objection in the books. Now, sometimes you may not even realize an objection, but today we're going to kind of show you that, hey, this is an objection you may be seeing, but you're not even realizing this.
Yeah, good point. And I'm also going to say this too, the AAA formula, guys, this is the best thing you can do to set yourself up for a lot of success when it comes to overcoming objections. All right. And then one thing to also note too is, guys, is that when you are overcoming objections, you can't show your client that it's messing you up. Right? Like, you got to be calm, cool, and collected.
Sharp as a tack.
Like, don't allow for the objection to throw you off track. Because I see sometimes where clients will give an objection to an agent, and the agent's trying to rebuttal, and they're like, they start studying over the words, or they start talking really fast, right? And they get out of their comfort zone. The client can tell if they threw you off track or not, and it shows them that you haven't really mastered your craft, or you're not sharp as a tack. And now they know that they already won that game, and they're ready to get off the phone or shut the door in your face.
Literally.
Right?
Literally.
So we're going to talk about objections in four different areas: the approach, the discovery, the close, and then on the application. So let's hop into the first one, the overcoming objections in the approach. The first one, I don't have time right now.
And this first one we're going to do is over the phone sales.
Over the phone, yeah.
So we're going to overcome in the first 60 seconds of our phone call, calling that client on an outbound and call lead, right? Where client says, I don't have time, I didn't fill it out, I already took care of it, I'm not interested.
Yeah. So you want me to handle them?
Yeah, I'm assuming you rebuttal differently to all four of them, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
so you can ask me, and we can role play a little bit, and then kind of go from there.
Of course. So you want to be Miss Betty or Mr. John?
Mr. John, please.
Okay,
Yeah,
John. All right.
Come on, let's do it.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. John, it's Jalen, underwriter here in the state of Ohio. I see that you requested information in regards to life insurance. I was just giving you a quick call to go over that with you.
I don't have time right now.
Oh, I completely understand, Mr. John. You know, in fact, I don't have a lot of time right now either. I'm actually in between appointments. I've been trying to get in contact with you for quite some time now, and I know you're extremely busy, as am I. But I do see here you only listed your name on the form. Were you just requesting this for yourself or for you and someone else?
Awesome. Beautiful. Stop right there. So Jalen agreed with him. He acknowledged it by saying, hey, he understands the client is busy. He understands he's busy as well. And the assume part was always it's always should be a question usually.
Mm-hmm.
And he assumed the next part of the presentation, which was figuring out was he requesting it for him or for someone else.
Right into the discovery.
Yep.
Correct.
So this dude, I didn't fill it out.
Yep. So here's how you overcome the objection. I didn't fill it out. So if a client comes to you and says, Jalen, I didn't fill out this information. What you want to do is you want to have a curiosity tone. Take a time to relax, slow down a little bit.
And Jen, give them exactly what you said.
Yeah. So here's what you'll do, guys. You'll say, Mr. John, that's actually quite interesting for me. And actually, it's very quite concerning as well. The reason why I say that is because I want to make sure no one's illegally trying to take out life insurance in your name. Now, I do see here on the form you listed that you're out of Louisville, Kentucky, and you listed here your favorite hobby is golfing, and you said you want your beneficiary to be your spouse. Did I read any of that information wrong? No, you didn't. Got it. Okay. Now, Mr. John, I can just imagine you were just responding to this just to see what this is all about. Is that correct? That's correct. Gotcha. Now, I do see here on the form you only listed your name. Were you just requesting it for yourself or for you and someone else?
Yeah, so it seems like your goal is to get to the question of were you requesting it for you or for you and someone else?
My main goal is to get to my first question in my discovery, right?
Like the goal when it comes to the presentation, any presentation is to keep the client on the phone or keep the client engaged in a face-to-face interaction sale.
Exactly.
Keep the presentation going forward.
Exactly. The main goal, guys, is to show the client that you're on their side. You don't want to show them that you guys are not on their side by trying to combat them. So you don't want to say things like, oh, you didn't fill this information out? Well, I got your name is this, and this. Don't do that because the client will hang up on you. Show them that you're on their side, and I promise you're going to keep the client on the phone a lot longer.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the next one. I already took care of it. Now, guys, this is one of my favorite ones because it shows me that the client values life insurance, right? Like I love when clients tell me that because it shows me that they know the value of insurance. So I don't have to sell them on why they need insurance. So here's how I handle this one. If a client responds back to me and says, Jalen, I already got it taken care of, I'm simply going to respond back and say this with a smile on my face. Oh, Mr. John, man, that's amazing. I'm glad to see that you actually value life insurance. Most people don't. Now, there's two reasons that people request information from us when they already got it taken care of it. The first reason they're looking at information is because they're looking to see what else is out there, or they're simply just looking to add on to what they currently have. So let me give it to you guys a little bit better. If a client responds back and says, I already taken care of, I'll say, okay, cool, Mr. John, I'm glad to see that you value life insurance and you already got it squared away. Most people, when they request information from us, they already got it taken care of. And they're either looking to supplement what they currently have, or they're looking to see what else is out there. Easy. Which one is it for you? Isolate the objection. They're going to respond back one or two ways. They'll respond back and say, I already got it taken care of, right? Or they'll say, I was just looking to see what else is out there. You'll simply just respond back and say, okay, cool, no worries. Most of my clients are already looking to do that. When they give us a call, we can definitely help you out with that. The second way they'll respond back and say, I was looking to supplement what I currently have. Gotcha. Okay, Mr. John, I completely understand. Most of our clients are actually looking to supplement what they currently have. Do you not believe you have enough coverage right now to handle everything that you need? Right? Guys, that's how you simply overcome that objection. You want to isolate that objection by looking to see if they're looking to replace what they have or if they're looking to supplement what they currently have. So it's all about your questions.
That's good, man. I love that. So when it comes to the face-to-face part of all of this, I hate to be that person, but I have the same rebuttal to all the 4 objections. So my same rebuttal is going to be for the objection of I don't have time, I didn't fill it out, I already have insurance, I'm not interested. I always tell agents doing face-to-face sales, you do not want to sell with your feet that's not underneath the table. So you only want to sell when your feet is underneath the table, as in the kitchen table, as in the family room table. So my rebuttal to all this is the same way. So Jalen, I'm gonna just knock your door and you're gonna give me the I don't have time.
Okay.
Like I said, the rebuttal is the same thing for all four objections.
Gotcha.
Cool?
Perfect.
All right, so knock, knock, knock.
Yo.
Hey, Jalen. My name is Michael. I'm with Senior Benefits here in Ohio.
Okay.
You've requested information about final expense coverage. I was just told to stop by to see what you qualify for. Where can we sit?
Yeah. What is this about again?
Yeah, so Jalen, quick question for you. Do you mind?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this your information right here in this form?
It is.
Awesome, awesome. So we got your information on our desk this morning. As you can see here, Jalen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a licensed agent with the state of Ohio,
Gotcha.
Department of Insurance. And I was just told to stop by for 2 or 3 minutes to see what you qualify for. Did you want to sit inside or did you want to sit outside?
Yeah, man. I definitely would love to talk more about this, but I really don't have the time at the moment.
Yeah, take about 2 or 3 minutes. Did you want to sit inside or do you want to sit outside?
You said 2 to 3 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's sit inside real quick.
So with that one rebuttal there, I overcame all of it because I told the client, they said they didn't fill it out. I gave the lead form to them and they confirmed that was them. Boom, check that one out of the question. They don't have time. Well, I said it would only take 2 or 3 minutes. Boom, got that one out of the question as well.
Okay.
And then also they said they already took care of it to me. Well, I was told to stop by to see what you qualify for. And people love to get qualified for things. So it's the same rebuttal to all the objections. And also you may get, who are you? Well, I showed them my state license and I said I'm a licensed agent here in the state of Ohio.
That's good. It seems like in your rebuttals, you're kind of like handling them up front before they even come up.
Of course,
in most cases,
of course.
which is pretty good, right?
Pretty straightforward.
Now, the last one, guys, is I'm not interested, right? So if a client responds back and says, I'm not interested over the phone, obviously Mike just handled all of his when it comes to face-to-face because it's more simple. Like you already have a lot more trust with the client right there in front of them, right? But over the phone, you got to be a little bit more crafty. So if a client responds back and says they're not interested, again, you agree, you acknowledge, you assume. All right, Mr. John, I completely understand, you're not interested. In fact, I wouldn't be interested in anything that I didn't have any information on either. Now, most times when people say they're not interested, it's either because they don't think that they'll qualify or because they think it's going to be too pricey. Which one is it for you? I isolate the objection, right? And then based on however they respond, you handle it accordingly. And all you simply respond back and say is, yeah, most of my clients who request information have the same response as you. Here's how we're able to overcome that and help them, right? I want to bring other people into the situation to show the client what? That I've handled and helped people out with the same problem that they've had.
Exactly.
Does that make sense, guys?
Straightforward.
All right, cool.
All right, so next we're going to go over the common objections in the discovery now. The common objections in the fact finding. You're trying to figure out why the client needs insurance. You're going to probably get some, these are called like in presentation objections. So we're going to give you some word tracking, some word phrasing you can use to overcome these objections. Now, should you be saying all this word for word? I would say yes, but if you miss a word or two, it won't throw it off. But your goal is to get these rebuttals, these objections, pretty much word for word and master a lot of times when it comes off effortlessly.
Yeah, exactly.
So when the client says, can you get to the quotes, please, in your discovery fact-finding process, what I'll say is this. Hey, Miss Betty, I completely understand you want to get to the quotes right now. But if I get to the quotes right now, you will not understand how this policy is going to benefit you and your loved ones while you're living, and how the policy can benefit you and your loved ones when you pass away. So if you give me about 2 or 3 minutes, I'll get into the quotes here in a second. So with that being said, next part of the script.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, guys, all these are really going to be the same thing, whether you're face-to-face or your field sales.
Yeah,
face-to-face or phone sales. Like they're all really going to be the same when it comes to in presentation objection. So it's the same thing when it comes to clients dealing with clients over the phone for
Correct.
get straight to the quotes.
Yeah.
All right. You just want to kind of not, you want to acknowledge it, but you want to just brush it off and keep pushing. All right. So let's talk about the next one. I already have insurance. If a client says they already have some insurance in place over the phone, the last thing you want to do is obviously hop straight into asking them for their coverage amount, how much they're paying for it, and all that stuff, right? So if a client responds, like I said, I already have insurance in place. My simple response is going to be, okay, great. I'm glad to see that you already, you value life insurance, Mr. John. When it comes to this insurance plan that you put in place, did you get that over the phone or did you get that in the mail? Right? I want to isolate it again because I want to see where they got the policy from, simply because I know if they got insurance over the phone or if they got it on TV or they got it in the mail, I know it's going to be a 2-year waiting period in most cases. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, I already have insurance through my job. I already have insurance through my. I love this one the most. So, Miss Betty, I completely understand you already have insurance through your job. But quick question for you: when you leave that current job, will that insurance carry on with you, or will it terminate?
Hmm.
Most of the time, they're gonna probably say it's gonna terminate. And I'll also say, well, Miss Betty, let me ask you a better question. Do you even know the name of the company, or have you even read that policy
Hmm.
that you currently have through your job right now? Most of the time, they're going to say no to that as well.
Hmm.
And I also say, Miss Betty, that current job insurance you have right now, do you even pick that plan, or are you just given that plan? I know a lot of times people that have car insurance, they wouldn't just want to be given a car insurance plan without actually picking it.
Right.
So I'm asking questions called probing questions.
Hmm.
Not looking to really get a answer, but I'm looking to have them think about, man, I do have job insurance and I never even read the policies to even see the fine print.
You're building curiosity.
I'm bringing
Yeah.
curiosity.
Yeah. And that's the thing when it comes to overcoming any objection, guys, especially when the client says they already have life insurance, already taken it out. You want to build curiosity to make them question their policy,
Yeah.
especially if they don't know what they have. It's good for you to do that because you don't want that client to get off the phone not knowing if they have a good policy or not. So it's your job to build that curiosity for that person.
And honestly, most of the time, people are we are working outbound in leads or leads in general. So the client already requested information, knowing that their job insurance is probably not the right thing for them.
Right. And it's okay to let the client know as well some facts about their policy. Hey, Mr. John, have you, when it comes to your term life when your policy through your job, most policies through the work already is like a term life insurance plan that's going to end up going up in price or it's going to end up canceling out on you at any time. So just keep that in mind as well, is that when you leave your job, you're no longer going to be covered. And, okay, if you do decide to keep it, if they allow for you to, it's going to go up drastically. Now, I can imagine that's something that you don't want to have happen for your family and for yourself. Is that correct?
And they'll be like, no, I do not.
Boom. You got them. You reeled them right back in.
Yeah. And you want to bring up that point, hopefully, before you show a quote at the end.
1000%.
Now, another one is going to be, I can't qualify for this.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Miss Betty, I completely understand you think you can't qualify for this. You never talked to me before, so let's see if we can get you qualified. I mean, that was just straightforward. I mean,
that's simple. Yeah, you literally say that, like you make a joke out of it, right? But then you also want to ask a little bit of questions. Gotcha. Okay, well, it seemed like you kind of been through this before, Miss Betty. Who have you spoke to? What other companies have you spoke to in the last, year or so? Have you got declined for insurance in the past? They'll say, yeah. Okay, well, you sound pretty healthy to me. Why has people been declining you? I'm asking those questions. I'm making her feel good, making her feel more encouraged to want to move forward with me because I don't want to discourage her from getting a policy, right? So, well, Miss Betty, you sound pretty healthy. Mm-hmm. Why have they been declining you, right? Yeah. And it keeps the client engaged with you on the phone when they tell you that, all right? Yeah. So you want to offer some encouragement during that time as well.
And the last one in Discover is going to be, I already talked to other agents. How would you overcome that one, Jalen?
This is great. So I always tell people, hey, Mr. John, well, I got you. Okay, I know you talked to another agent here recently, but obviously it seems like they wasn't able to really meet your request or meet the things that you were looking to do. Real quick for you, what exactly did they show you? And why did you not go with that company?
Mm.
Right? Like, I want to ask those questions to figure out what is causing them not to want to move forward. Right? So the question again is, well, Mr. John, I'm glad to see that you already talked to another agent, but there's obviously a reason on why you didn't push forward with it. What was that reason?
Correct.
Right? They're either going to say it was due to pricing, due to coverage, or they might even say, I just didn't trust the agent.
Yeah.
Now it's up to you to take what they told you about that and why they did not move forward with it and make sure you don't do that. Okay.
Or you can beat that.
And you can beat it,
I feel
right?
like if it was to say that, yeah, if the pricing was the biggest thing stopping me, you want to figure out what the pricing was they got to show, coverage amount and premium. So now you know, well, that's kind of like where they don't want to be at far as pricing at the end.
Great point. Great point.
So now we're gonna hop into the closing part. All right. So the client, let's say you show the quotes to the client says they want to think about it, or they want to talk to their daughter, they want to talk to whatever. So
Yeah.
I consider all that as I still want to think about it.
Yeah.
So I know you have your step-to-step process. I think both of us have a step-to-step process when it comes to the client wanting to think about it, and it's a step-to-step process because you will get this.
Yeah.
You will get this. So when a client says they want to think about it after showing them a quote, I always ask them this: hey, I completely understand you want to think about this policy, Ms. Betty, but the hardest thing we had to do today is honestly just seeing if they can approve you. If the carrier approves you, they're going to mail the policy to your home, and your first payment is next month. So there's nothing to really even think about, Ms. Betty, because you're not even approved yet.
That's good.
The carrier has to think about approving you.
That's a good point.
Right. Now, if they don't approve you, Miss Betty, then I can't do anything for you. We tried, and that's about it. So let's just see if they can approve you.
Exactly. And I like how, like, you know, when you're overcoming objections, guys, you got to show some personality to it. Like, when I'm overcoming objections, I want it to be a light thing. Like, I want to crack a joke or something. Like, I like that joke you just cracked, right? And now that's for face to face. Now, can I work over the phone? Absolutely. But here's how I overcome it, guys. Again, I like to isolate the objection as much as possible. So if the client says, you know, Jalen, I really want to think about it, or I want to talk to my family, or I want to talk to my spouse, I'll simply respond back and say this: hey, Mr. John, I completely understand. You know, if I was in your shoes, I would want you to want to think about it as well. Now, real quick, before I let you go, there's two reasons that people will tell me they want to think about it. The first reason is because because of the pricing, or the second reason is because they don't see value in it. Which one is it for you? They're always going to say pricing. So guys, I'm going to come back to the pricing and say, okay, cool, Mr. John. Well, I know you shared earlier that your budget was about $100 a month. Was that something that was actually affordable for the budget, or did you want to stay a little bit lower than that? Well, you know, Jalen, I really want to stay really want to stay ideally around $75. Got it. Okay, completely understand. What most of my clients do, Mr. John, is they typically go for that middle option for about $15,000 for around $72 a month. Let's go with that middle option first, and then we can see if that fits within the budget over time, and then we can increase it over time as you see fit. All right? Now, who did you want to be your beneficiary again?
Easy. Done deal.
So you got
clients are thinking about it because of price, they don't trust you, or they don't get how the policy works.
Exactly. And if you did all those other things leading up to the close, really the only objection you should be getting, if any, because I don't really get that many objections, to be honest.
I don't.
Because of how you're layering it inside the presentation. But if you do get any objection at the end, if the client does say they want to think about it because of lack of value, that's based on you. Right? But if a client says because of pricing, you got to make sure you isolate that as much as possible.
And the key here is not to just be quick with them and end the phone call or end the face-to-face interaction. It's just to sit there and have a conversation with them.
Correct.
I have many times I talk to them for about 5 to 10 minutes at this time here in the presentation, and we move forward, and they're happy with me, and then they give me a big old hug after leaving the house. Like, thank you for not being a scared person.
Yeah, you know? And you guys got to make sure too. What you guys are noticing with me and Mike is that even after we handle the objection with a rebuttal, we're asking another question. We're assuming it. We're hopping straight into it. Most times, what happens with agents is that they stop after they hit them with the rebuttal. They'll say, "Okay, cool, Mr. John. Well, most times when people say they want to think about it, it's because of pricing or because of lack of value. Which one is it for you?" And they'll stop. And the client respond back and say, "Well, it's because of this reason." And then once they give it a response, well, okay, cool. We can go with that middle option, and then we can kind of go from there. And then they keep that awkward silence at the end. The client, even after if you hit them with the same objection at the end, if you don't give them another action after that, they're going to hit you with the same response. Well, it's okay. Let's just talk tomorrow. No, you got to lead them. You got to guide them. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Who's going to be your beneficiary again? Because clients want to be led. They want to be shown. You got to be that figure of authority.
So the last two we'll go over and we'll end this beautiful training call for today will be, I don't want to give out my social security number out to you. It's probably going to happen when you're doing the application with the carrier you're working with. Mm-hmm. So the client says, I don't want to give my social security number out to you. Once again, as you hear me keep on saying the whole entire call today is, I completely understand. That's me agreeing with them, is I completely understand. Mm-hmm. So the client says, I don't want to give my social out to you. You say, I completely understand. Quick question for you. Do you understand why we need your social? They're going to probably say yes. Why do you need it? Mm-hmm. Then I would say, Miss Betty, it's the only way to identify who you are when you pass away. Mm. Pause for a quick second. Then I say, Miss Betty, there's probably a lot of Betty Johnsons in the world. And I chuckle. And they say, yeah, I agree. So I want to make sure this policy gets paid out to the right family when you pass away. Pause for a quick second. So with that being said, what's your social?
That's good. That's good. I do the same exact thing. That's really good. I can't do it better than that. That's really good. Yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about the last one is how to overcome, I don't want to give you my banking information, right? So here's what you simply say. Hey, Miss Betty, I completely understand. In fact, I wouldn't want to give my banking information out either. But do you happen to know why they need it? No, I don't know why they need it. Gotcha, Miss Betty. The number one reason why the insurance companies ask for it is because of money laundering purposes. They want to make sure that nobody's illegally trying to launder money in insurance. So the same exact reason that you don't want to give it out, the insurance companies are wanting to make sure that you do have a legitimate bank. So that way, nobody's laundering money in insurance. All right. Now, Ms. Betty, what are your routing and account numbers? All right. So guys, that's typically how you overcome these objections in the approach, in the presentation, and in the close. The biggest thing you guys really want to just make sure of is stay calm, cool, and collected. Show some personality when you're overcoming them. Don't fight the client. Show them that you're on their side, and use the AAAs. Agree, acknowledge, and assume. Mike, any closing words?
That's it. See you guys on the top.